I'm in my zone. I'm in my zone. Breaking them as they come. Who crowning that number one?
Welcome to In the Zone, and boy, we have a couple of surprises for you this week. It's the end of the NBA regular season, and that means it's time for the postseason awards. I am an official voter. I turned in my votes last night. I'm going to share those with you today. That's surprise number one. Surprise number two is we're bringing in my man, Jason McIntyre from the Big Lead, from Speak for Yourself, and we're going to debate some of the hottest NBA topics. Going to be a lot of fun. He's a spirited debater, so we're going to go at it. I'm going to take him down, obviously. But let's get to the first surprise. We're going to look at my postseason awards. Remember, these are regular season awards. I don't want to hear how LeBron should be the MVP if he plays great in the playoffs and leads Cleveland to a championship. It's a regular season award, not postseason. So here we go, of course, the one everybody's talking about, MVP. Number 5, Isaiah Thomas in Boston, leading that team to the number 1 seed. Great accomplishment for the little man. We know he was a great fourth quarter player. Had to give him his props. Number 4, LeBron James. I know he's the best player in the world, but the Cavaliers had a bad regular season. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. LeBron's the leader of that team, so you can't be the MVP when your club is embarrassingly underachieving during the regular season. Number 3, Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard had a great season. A lot of scouts tell me he's the best two-way player in the league. That San Antonio team, they lost Tim Duncan, who I know was old, but you know who else is old? Pau Gasol, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili. You got guys like Davis Bertans and Dwayne Dedmon playing big-time minutes down in San Antonio, and Kawhi still leads them to 60-plus wins. Got to give him some love for that. Number 2, and here's where it gets interesting, James Harden. Want to take nothing away from the beard. I'm a huge fan. Voted for him for MVP 2 years ago when Steph won his first, but I had to give it to my man, Russell Westbrook. A triple-double he averaged. He was clutch. Hit all those game-winning shots, 4 of them to be exact. Hit 3 shots to force overtime. You know, his team, his supporting cast wasn't as good as Harden's. His coach didn't play a style that was as conducive to putting up big numbers as Mike D'Antoni's style is in Houston. I had to give it to Russell Westbrook. Also, 2 legends, 2 former MVPs told me themselves, Shaquille O'Neal and, of course, the GOAT, Michael Jordan, that Russell Westbrook is the MVP. That was just further bolstered my argument, so I'm going with Russ. Now, most improved player. This was a tough one because a lot of guys improved. There are some guys on this list I could have added, but at number 3, I had to go with Giannis Antetokounmpo in Milwaukee. Raised his scoring average from about 16 points to 22. Led the Milwaukee Bucks, a playoff team, in points, assists, rebounds, blocks. The dude did everything. He was my 3rd most improved player. Dennis Schroeder, number 2. In Atlanta, became a starter this year, led that team, second on the team in scoring, 18 points a game from 11 last year. Not one of the great point guards yet, but still had a very strong season. Got to give him the number 2 spot. And then Nikola Jokic in Denver, most improved player. This guy, next year, he might be an all-star. I mean, he is the truth. Denver's really got a great player there who can lead them to some postseason success in the future. So I'm going with Nikola Jokic. Not just a scorer, not just a rebounder, also a great passer, 7 feet. He'll bring the ball up on occasion. So giving him love as the most improved player. Defensive Player of the Year. This was a great battle. At number 3, I had to go with the 2-time defending champion, Kawhi Leonard. Always a great perimeter defender. Had to give him love. He kept San Antonio at the top, around the top as far as defense. Rudy Gobert. A lot of people going to vote him number 1. I voted him number 2. The best rim protector in the league. The Stifle Tower, as they call him. He was great. I thought at moments I might give the award to him, but I had to look closer and give it to my man, Draymond Green in Golden State. Everybody thought their defense was going to plummet. They gave up Andrew Bogut. Harrison Barnes, not a bad defender. And they brought in, of course, Kevin Durant. And their defense has not missed a beat. It's largely or mainly because of Draymond Green can guard every position on the floor and does, and can guard big men inside, can guard point guards on the perimeter, as active as anybody in the league. Great defensive player, great all-around player. Got to give it to Draymond. Sixth man of the year. This was a good one. Starting at number 3, another Warrior, Andre Iguodala. I know people thought he was down, but he does so much. He's not a guy that you just look at his numbers for his contribution. He is important to that team, was critical to their playing so terrifically without Kevin Durant. Secondly, I'm going with Zach Randolph in Memphis. Came off the bench this year. They're making the playoffs again. He led them in rebounding. Okay, off the bench. That's impressive. Got to give Zebo some love for that. And then top of the list, Eric Gordon in Houston. Great year. You know, did all types of things from the three-point line. We know the Rockets set records for three-pointers made in the season, and Gordon was a critical part of that. He was great. It's good to see him healthy because he's always been this caliber of player. Rookie of the year. This is a little bit of debate because some of you think it should be Joel Embiid. No question, Embiid is the best rookie in the NBA, no doubt, but he only played 31 games. 31 games. I cannot give you the award if you only played 31 games. I mean, being available, being able to play is part of the job description. I don't care how good you are. If you miss 51 games, it doesn't matter how good you are. You're not there. And then when you were there, you only gave me 25 minutes a night. So I can't give him the award. I did put him number 3 on my list. Number 2 is teammate Saric, Dario Saric. And then number 1, Malcolm Brogdon from Milwaukee. Kind of came out of nowhere. Gave it to Brogdon because he's doing it on a playoff-bound team. The minutes he's playing mean more. Saric, not taking nothing away from him. He had some great months this season, has really been a good player, but none of those games meant anything. It's easier to play when the games mean nothing. And when you have teammates that aren't that good, quite frankly, outside of Joel Embiid. Brogdon is playing, has to fit in, play with great players like Antetokounmpo, Jabari Parker for a while. You know, Chris Middleton's come back. And he has to fit in and still get his and help them make it to the playoffs because those minutes are important. So that's why I went with Malcolm Brogdon. Now, this is a big deal to me, and I think you'll enjoy it too. The All-NBA teams, and it was some tough decisions. 4 of them are obvious to me. In the backcourt, I've got Russell Westbrook, James Harden at the guards, LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard as the forwards. The only one that wasn't obvious and the one that might, raise your eyebrows a bit was my center. You have to go with a legitimate center. You can't just throw Kevin Durant in there because he's a front court player, even though he's just a small forward. You have to go with a legitimate big man. So I went with Karl Anthony Towns, 25 points, 12 rebounds a game. I know Minnesota didn't make the playoffs, but it had nothing to do with Karl Anthony Towns. It really had to do with their youth. They're going to be a team to be reckoned with in the future. We all know that. And when I look at the competition for center, I mean, Karl Anthony Towns is the best big man in the league. So I had to give him his props. 54% shooting, can take you in the post and eat you up with his back to the basket, can hit the mid-range, Jay, can step out and hit the 3, plays hard on the defensive end. I mean, the dude has it all. He's going to be a future MVP candidate. So why wait? Why punish him? I mean, most big men's teams weren't winning many games. I can't punish the dude. He's first team All-NBA, Karl Anthony Towns. So there you have it, the definitive regular season awards from yours truly, Chris Broussard, here on In the Zone. Tweet me, leave messages on the In the Zone podcast. Let me know what you think about my picks for MVP and for All-NBA and any of them that you like. I really look forward to seeing your opinions. I'd love to bring you on the In the Zone and debate you, but I don't know where you're at. But I do have Jason McIntyre here to go at it with me. So we're about to have some fun. So stay tuned.
And if you don't know, now you know.
All right, I am pleased to have my man, Jason McIntyre. What's up, brother?
Good, you finally invited me on. I know you're ducking me because you're scared to step in the
See,
debate.
he starts swinging
with
right
J.
away. I
Mac.
can't even give him a full introduction. The big lead, founder, and speak for yourself, personality. I'm going to chew you up.
Okay,
I
I'm
love
ready.
you. You know that.
All right.
But in here, you in the zone now,
I'm
man.
in the
You don't
zone.
step in the zone and just think it's going to be all hunky-dory.
Like my jumper when I'm playing you one-on-one is just in the zone.
Talking jump. All right, let's get right to it. All right. You know who I'm with on the MVP.
No, I don't. I have
Russell
no idea.
Westbrook, hands down, without hesitation. He is the MVP. Who you got?
James Harden. Hands down, without hesitation, he's the MVP. Listen, this was a team expected to do nothing. They were pegged by Vegas to win 41 games. James Harden takes a ragtag group. Eric Gordon. Nobody wanted Eric Gordon.
Eric Gordon's going to be sixth man of the year.
We laughed on Speak for Yourself when I said the Knicks are going after Eric Gordon.
Only
we laughed.
because he's injury prone.
Now that he's healthy.
He's healthy. When he's healthy, everybody knows he can play.
Ryan Anderson, Trevor Ariza, a bunch of
Trevor
cast-offs.
Ariza's a champion.
Mike D'Antoni, who got run out of New York.
When he has the
yeah.
right personnel, D'Antoni is great.
So this is all a magical season because of
D'Antoni-
James Harden. He changed
I agree.
positions. He became stopped being a ball-dominant shooting guard, became a true point guard, led the league in assists, 29 and 11, changing positions, and the most important stat, 50 wins. That's the key number. Every MVP, I believe, since 1980 has had more than 50 wins. And
since
I'm telling
1982.
1982. There you go, Mr. Stat Guy.
But it's
and
happened
let me
before.
toss one
Hold
more
on.
for you.
4 times guys have won the MVP award without winning 50 games. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
Yeah, what, the
won
70s?
Won it with a losing record.
In the 70s.
Yeah, but still,
when there were what,
so the
16
70s doesn't
teams?
count?
When there were 16
the
teams in the
70s
league?
doesn't count?
Come on, there was like 8 good players in the league in the
please.
70s.
Listen, you've
Chris,
disqualified
oh my
yourself
God.
right
Chris,
now.
Listen, I've got to go to Westbrook and point out one thing. We wrote about this on the Big Lead. Russell Westbrook has been stat padding for months. If you look at it, they box out other people so Westbrook can go in and get the rebound. He's
Why
essentially
then are they 33-9 when he has a triple double?
That's just
if you cheat the game like that, where you're making sure you don't get the rebound but he gets the rebound. When you do things like that, or I don't defend, I'm not going to contest my guy's shot so I can go get the rebound. You're not winning 33 of 42 games if you cheat the game like that.
Is it too early to play the fake stats card?
How's
Basically,
it fake stat
Russell
if they're
Westbrook,
33-9 when he gets the triple double?
He's basically collecting 2 more rebounds a game than James Harden. And if you look at the
So
video,
it's
and there's plenty of it.
better than 398 in baseball.
Oh, you mean
Yes.
400 shots
If
more than
you
Westbrook's
bat
taking?
400. This is the equivalent. Getting this triple double is the equivalent of hitting 400. It's the equivalent of
Oh
breaking
my
Joe.
gosh.
Hold on, Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hit streak. If you that's the
Chris.
equivalent. This is
Somebody get this man a glass of water.
LeBron James said himself on his uninterrupted, video
LeBron, ooh.
that we never thought we would see this. The one man we thought might be able to average a triple-double himself said we never thought it
Chris.
could be done. Think about, did you ever think you'd see a guy average a triple-double for a season?
Listen,
Can you answer my question?
Yes, and here's why. Before the season on Speak for Yourself, when they lost Durant, you came on, I believe it was early October, and you said, hey, Westbrook might average a triple-double.
I didn't think
we
he could
could pull
do
the
it.
tape, but you said it jokingly. Everybody said it jokingly. Hey, maybe he'll average a triple-double.
Nobody ththought he could actually do it.
But again, the stat padding with the rebounds. And let's not forget, they only won, 44 games, 45?
40, what are they, 47, I believe.
46,
At
47.
least 46, 47. I
Their
think.
expectations were 47. By Vegas, 46, 47. This is listen.
Vegas isn't a basketball expert.
Oh my God! They've
Enough
got the inside
Vegas, that's
information.
people.
Okay, I'll take Vegas out of it. Are you ready? I'm going to hit you with something that's a later question. Steph Curry's season last year was more impressive than what Russell Westbrook has done this season.
That might be
Oh,
true. I mean, what
I
he
thought
did,
I had
what
you.
Steph did last year was tremendous. That's last year.
Unbelievable. Right.
That's last year.
And guess what?
We're talking about this year.
When it came to MVP voting last year, all 131 votes went to Steph Curry.
What's
now
that got to do
we
with
got a
this
debate
year?
because it's
we do
obvious.
have a debate because James Harden has been tremendous.
Yes.
Kawhi Leonard has been great. LeBron James is always great. We do have a debate. But there is no question that the winner of that debate should be Russell Westbrook. How in the world are you going to deny this historic feat?
I'm not denying
and your
anything.
Team is.
He had a nice season.
James
Way to go,
Harden is
Russell
great.
Westbrook.
I don't want to disparage James Harden at all. Okay, he has been great. He was my MVP up until about a month ago.
So what changed in the last month?
fact I didn't
when he hung
think-
57 on Orlando,
Well,
and he
that helps.
Oh, he's
And all
crushing.
the game-winning shots.
He's beating lottery-bound
Who's
teams
been the best?
with
Who's been the-
50-point triple doubles.
Who's been the most clutch player in the league this season?
I don't have the stat in front of me.
Russell Westbrook.
For sure, you've got
yes,
that.
for
Okay.
sure. Hitting three-pointers to win games. He's not even a good three-point shooter,
Okay.
but he's hitting them to win
He's
games.
hitting clutch shots to win games against the likes of Denver, who's going to be in the
Hold on,
lottery.
they've beaten
Orlando.
they've beaten
Dallas.
so it
Come
doesn't
on.
count?
What's he doing against
It's
the good
the
teams?
NBA.
What's he doing
They've-
against the Warriors?
they've beaten
Losing by 20.
Oh, and Harden's beating the Warriors?
Harden beat the Warriors in
Once.
Golden State.
Once.
Still, that's once. And what did he do against Cavs?
Hold on.
I forgot.
Oklahoma City has beaten every team in the every elite team in the league except Golden State.
I got a producer
they
in
shouldn't
my
beat
ear
Golden State.
saying we got to get to the second question.
You're running away from me.
I'm
you
not
know.
talking to anyone.
You're right. There's nothing in your
We
ear except
disagree.
wax. There's no IFB in your ear. You're running.
I was joking.
Point Broussard. You're
oh
ran.
my gosh. Where does Westbrook's season rank all time?
I'm not gonna say it's the best.
Okay, good.
All right, I'm
That's
not gonna
good.
say it's
All
the
right.
I think Michael Jordan's years. I mean, he averaged 35 points, 8 assists, or 32 points, 8 rebounds,
Okay.
8 assists one year. He averaged 37 one year, 35 another year. And Michael Jordan always was over 50% shooting early in his career when he put up those numbers. You know, so I'm not gonna put. And Jordan was a two-way player. Westbrook
Yes.
has not played great defense this year, so I'm not gonna say it's better than that. I think LeBron has had better seasons.
Wait, top
To
10?
your
Is it
pitch-
top 10
oh,
all
yeah,
time?
It's got to be top 10.
Yeah,
It's
since
gotta
you're
be top
Mr.
10.
70s and 60s.
So the 70s they couldn't hoop.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Is that what you're saying?
Wilt
They couldn't
Chamberlain
hoop?
averaged 50 for a season.
50
That's in
and
there,
26
right? Okay, just making
in the
sure that's
60s,
in there.
Just to let you.
Okay,
Same
60s.
year Oscar averaged the triple double.
Okay, good.
So I'm gonna say it's top 10. It has to be top 10.
All right, let me push it a little further. I
You
said
saying it's
earlier.
not top 10?
No, it is top 10.
Okay.
Steph Curry last year or Russell Westbrook this year?
Oh, that's a good
He
one.
averaged
Steph-
36
yeah.
and 5, 30.6
points.
rebounds, 5 assists. Won every first place MVP vote. Made
That
400.
and now he
Okay.
should not have been the first.
Made
unanimous,
402 3-pointers. Nobody in NBA history had ever made 300 in a season.
No,
Okay. What he did last year, 50% from the field, 45 from 3, 90 from the free throw line. One guy had done that.
But you know what?
Steve
Beyond
Nash.
that,
I didn't even get to 73 wins.
If that's what made, like, let's say you talked about Steph. Let's say Steph, you put Russell last year. Russell does. You know, they do it in the same season. So Steph averages the numbers you mentioned, and Russ averages a triple double.
Do the Warriors win 73?
Well, that's the thing. I think if they don't win a historic number of games, like say they win 65, I still think Russ maybe would be the MVP. It'd be close.
I
But
would
what made Steph's season last year, in addition to all you said, because he was tremendous, but what put him over the top and made it one of the all-time great seasons was not the three-pointers. That's nice, but it's a new game. It's a different game now. Okay? What made it was the 73 wins.
I was
you
talking
do
to-
that without 73 wins, and it's not as
I was talking to
special.
your guy, Justin, who runs this podcast, and he made a great point. He said, last year when Curry was playing, they were chasing the record. He was hitting the threes. I was building my nights around watching Steph Curry. This
Yeah.
year, I'm not building my nights around watching Russell Westbrook pad his stats. And I'm not
That's
doing that
Justin.
either.
That's
no, that's
Justin
a
doesn't
lot
know
of
what
people.
he's talking
NBA
about.
ratings are down big time this year. All right, you're
But
up
that's
next.
because of Westbrook?
Well, I mean, who cares?
How
They don't need
about-
to watch a
that's 'cause
guy
of something
take
we're gonna get to
30
later.
shots
That's
a night.
because a guy sitting out.
Oh, boy, don't get me started
That's
on
because
that.
of
It's too
nationally
early in the
tele-
podcast.
No, you know what? It's not.
No.
We're going right there now. That's because
Okay.
guys are sitting out. Golden State's big three sitting out nationally televised games. LeBron, Kyrie, Kevin Love sitting out nationally televised games. That's a big story. I'm glad you brought that up.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the
You wanna
next
go there
question.
next? Okay.
Let's go there now. Do you think it's a problem for the league that guys are sitting out these games?
No.
Not at the end of the season.
Deal
I'm
with it,
with
Adam
you
Silver.
the last
What's
week or
that
two.
video, the GIF where the guy where he puts on the glasses and you see deal with it? Deal with it, Adam Silver. Your move.
So,
Either
okay,
lessen
so what should his move be?
Adam Silver's got to shorten the season, which ain't happening. The owners ain't giving that money back, right? Or
Eventually,
you got
maybe.
to eliminate back-to-backs and
But
stop
you
making.
can't. I mean, they've tried.
Listen.
They're gonna lengthen the season a week to 10 days more. They still can't get rid of all the back.
Well, they got to do their best job.
So
or,
you're with the players.
Well, I'm totally with the
Why?
players. Here's the last one. Okay, Steph Curry and the Warriors traveled, I believe it's 28,000 miles this year, more than any other team in the league. I know some of that has to do with them being on the West Coast. Michael Jordan never traveled this much in the 90s when he played because there weren't national TV games.
What?
There weren't.
What do you think the 90s was?
NBC.
The prehistoric era?
Hold on. NBC had 24 national TV games in 97, 98. The Warriors alone play 28 this year. They play more national TV games than NBC
that's only
had.
four. You
Four
say
more than all of NBC had. There weren't as many.
It's
You've
a
got to
different
travel
day.
here.
Hold on, but you know what Michael Jordan did do? He had to fly commercial. How about that?
No,
How
Michael
about that?
Jordan had to fly
Not just
commercial.
Michael
The
Jordan, a lot
indignity of Michael
Yeah,
Jordan
it's a lot.
crumbling
Have
his
you ever been
6'6"
on a charter?
frame and-
Have you ever been on a charter flight?
Yeah, I'm sure he was in row 31 next to the bathroom like you and I.
He
Oh, no,
might
you
not
fly
have
first
been,
class. You're
but
big time.
several players had to fly commercial. 6'6", 7 feet tall, flying
geez,
commercial.
right.
Sometimes playing 3 games in 3
He
nights.
took a year and a half
Didn't have
off.
the
Don't
weight
defend
training.
Michael Jordan.
Didn't have nutritionists. Didn't have the equipment that they have now. The technology wasn't as good,
So you're
and they
saying-
weren't complaining about 82 games.
So
why are these guys complaining so much? Again, point Broussard, 3-0. This is a blowout, man.
Oh
Come
my
with
God.
something.
All right.
Come correct or don't come
Jeez.
to the zone.
All right, listen. Should Kevin Durant re-sign with the Warriors or go elsewhere? I mean, I hope you don't go where I think you're going to go here.
This is a tough one.
What?
I know he's going to resign. But if they win it, I'm just going to put it this way. I'm not saying he should. I'm saying, again, if they win the championship and he's the finals MVP, that solidifies him not only as a champion, but as the guy that drove the bus. It would be better for the NBA, and it would be better for the NBA if he went to either Washington or Boston or something like that. Number one,
Oh, yeah,
because
Boston gets the number 1 pick and Kevin Durant. That sounds real
it
good.
would create another elite team, which we need. We sorely need.
Did we need another elite team when Jordan peeled off 6 straight in the 90s?
Yeah, because he faced a bunch of different teams.
No, sports
Phoenix was
fans
elite.
like
The Lakers he beat.
Phoenix elite. Well, they win
With
56
Charles
games.
Barkley?
Oh my, get out of here.
Charles
Listen,
Barkley was a great.
fans
You weren't watching
love
basketball
dynasties,
back then, though, right?
Fans love dynasties.
Well, why are
New
the ratings
York
down?
Yankees.
When we knew it's going to be
Oh.
Cleveland against Golden State, the ratings plummeted.
Can we get to the finals and talk ratings? I don't remember what the ratings were in the 96 regular season. Do you? No. All we care about is the finals. We
They
like
were
the
great
NFL
'cause of Michael
playoffs,
Jordan.
the World Series with the Cubs. People
But the
like
regular
dominant
hold on.
teams.
Your last argument was that the ratings are down.
They are down.
All right, so they're down because everybody knows it's going to be Golden State and Cleveland.
Wait, I thought you said they were
need
down 'cause the
another
players are
elite
resting.
team.
Which is it,
That's
Broussard?
also
Which
a
is
factor.
it?
There's 2 factors.
He's foaming at the
There's
mouth.
2 factors. Look, you got to tell me if Durant went to Washington, it wouldn't be better for the NBA. Now
No.
Cleveland's not a certainty to win the East.
No.
Now you got the two best players
what was-
in the East battling
you know
against
what-
each other. You have San Antonio and Golden State battling in the West. It would be tremendous.
You know what was great for the NBA? When the Warriors chased 73 wins last year. And with Kevin Durant
they
healthy
could
for a
chase
full
73 without
season,
Durant.
next year with no. Come on, that
If they
bench is
wanted to-
depleted. There's no
really?
room for
How
error.
depleted did it look when Durant wasn't there
Well,
for the
again,
last 2
the
months?
schedule loosened up a lot. They won 13 straight
They
after
beat
resting
the top
players.
teams in the league.
After
they beat Houston. They
resting
beat San Antonio. What are you
players.
talking about?
Chris, they rested
The
their players.
schedule lightened up.
They rested their players. No more back-to-backs, and then they took
They
out
rested
the
the
team.
players 1 game.
That's all it took.
Oh,
Because they had
please.
the brutal
so
road
that's
trip.
the reason.
Point
It had nothing to
McIntyre.
do-
I'm on
had
the scoreboard.
No way.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with
I'm
Durant.
going to give you a negative point for that, so I believe it's 2-1 Broussard. What do you got next? Come on, fire away.
I'm killing it.
Come at me, bro.
You're getting a little too cocky. You think you're doing something. All right. Here we go. Who should be the number 1 pick in this year's draft?
Well, Boston going to be the number 1
Let's
seed.
say Boston gets the number 1 pick. Who should they get picked?
You know, I'm going to go out on a limb here. Jason Tatum of Duke. I think Boston has a really good backcourt. They got a glut of good guards. But when you go small ball, you got to match up with Paul George. You got to match up with Jimmy Butler, LeBron James, and the Warriors. I think you need Tatum at the 4, or maybe he could even play the 5 in a small ball lineup. I love his game from Duke. Not a slight to Lonzo or Fultz. I like Josh Jackson. I love his game.
He could be the guy. That's
it's a
not
great draft.
bad.
It's a great draft.
This is the thing. If you're and look, Boston may have a chance to get Gordon Hayward.
Well, Boston has to decide.
And so we're talking
let's
about
back
right
up.
now.
What does Boston do with Isaiah Thomas? He doesn't play any defense. You watch.
If I'm
he
Boston,
is a
this
terrible
is my plan.
defender.
If I'm Boston, this is my plan. If I get the number 1 pick, I'm taking Lonzo Ball, and I'm trying to get Gordon Hayward in free agency. That's my plan. Now, Lonzo Ball can play next to Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas is really a two-guard.
What are you going to do with Marcus Smart, Jay Crowder?
I'm not drafting somebody because of Marcus
Hold up,
Smart.
so your backcourt
I'm
is now
keeping
two
Marcus
guys.
Smart on the bench, and he can be a backup
So
defensive
your
guy, which he's a
backcourt
great
is
defender.
two guys who cannot defend at all. Isaiah
Oh,
Thomas
there's
is
no backcourts like that.
Isaiah Thomas is one of the worst defenders in the league by the
Listen.
advanced metrics. And Lonzo Ball, we saw,
by the
he don't
advanced
play no
metrics,
defense.
By the advanced metrics, Kawhi Leonard didn't have a great defensive year.
Well,
You
I
can
don't
make
know about all
advanced
that.
metrics say anything, but that's what they said.
You know
They
Isaiah
said
Thomas
Spurs
is
are
not a
be-
good defensive
I agree,
player.
but my point
LeBron
is this.
attacked him relentlessly with Kyrie on the pick and roll too. Watch in the
Of course.
postseason. He's going to get
LeBron,
eaten
yeah,
up by
LeBron
John
eats up
Wall.
everyone.
John Wall's going to eat him up.
This is what I do. If I draft Lonzo Ball, who's 6'7", he can
And
guard
6'5",
twos.
but okay.
He can guard twos.
He
Now
don't
I
guard
can put
nobody.
Isaiah can
Go
guard
ask
one.
USC players. Does he defend?
Most guards don't guard anybody.
All right.
Damian Lillard, does he guard anybody? Does
no.
Kyrie Irving guard
They got
anybody?
rim protectors.
Does Steph Curry guard anybody?
Steph Curry is a great. No, he's not. I can't say that.
So I'm putting Lonzo Ball at the point, Isaiah at the 2 on offense and switching them on defense, and then I got Hayward at the 3 if I can get him as a free
Bradley,
agent.
Jay Crowder, Marcus.
They're great players, but they
So
come
you're
off the
targeting
bench.
Hayward
You need
over
depth.
Jimmy Butler, Paul
Well,
George.
Butler's not a free agent, and
Yeah,
Paul
you could-
George
you,
is a
you
free
got
agent
the trade
next
chips. You
to
got tons of guys you
That's
can trade.
why. That's one reason they didn't give up that first round pick for one of those
So
guys.
who's who's your
'cause
clutch
they know
player
they
on
might
that
be able to
team?
get
Who is
Hayward.
your
Isaiah
final
was like the leading fourth quarter
in the
scorer in
regular
league.
season? We just talked about Steph
Well,
Curry
we haven't
in the playoffs.
seen the
half-court.
playoffs
Okay.
yet.
Yeah, I'm not dumping on Isaiah Thomas, but he's like a fan favorite in Boston. They're number 1 player right now. The fans love him.
Should he not be?
I think they got to move on from him if they want to take the next step.
He
Listen,
led them to 50 wins.
okay, you know Danny Ainge
Why
is that guy.
He's the problem. He's the problem.
I think defense. Well,
How
I mean,
about-
he's
how
holding
about
you back.
adding something somewhere. He's not holding you
He
back.
doesn't play defense, Chris.
Neither
I like
does
him.
James Harden, your MVP.
James Harden is a better defender than he was last year. He's not an elite.
Is he? He's still
He's
not
better.
elite.
Better.
He's still not even
He's
good.
not.
Come on, be
He's
honest.
better defender
You're
than Isaiah
losing
Thomas.
credibility.
He's, oh my! I'm
The
not saying
in the
it.
zone fans will not want you back if you sit here and tell me James Harden is a good defender.
I said he's better at defense
Okay, is
than
he
last
good
year.
yet? Is he good yet?
He's better than Steph Curry
Is
at
he
defense.
good yet?
He's good. He's a good
He's a
defender.
good
He's not
defender.
great. He is good. I will go.
I feel for you.
I got Daryl
The
Morey on
fans might
speed
not
dial.
want you back.
Daryl Morey has an
Of
arsenal
course.
of
to Daryl Morey, he's the best defender we've ever seen.
They got the spreadsheets. They got all the numbers, the analytics that you
What's
love.
your next question?
that will back- all
4-1
right.
Broussard. All right, look, let's get to this question. Is LeBron James, I said it earlier, okay, he's the best player in the world. Is he still the best player in the world, or are we just saying that because he has been for so many years?
Yeah, I think it's very dependent on what happens in the postseason. You know, I'm very dubious that Cleveland's going to get back to the finals.
Really?
Right now,
Wait,
this
dubious?
Oh, yeah.
To finals?
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
So what's your percentage? Are they still your favorite in the East?
So the first round,
Just the
they'll play
fact that you
they'll
had
play-
to pause and take a deep
Listen,
breath.
man, this is a team that for 40 games now has been hovering slightly above 500. This is the 22nd ranked defense in the league.
Who's beating them in the East?
Well, I think Toronto could give them a run. Now, don't laugh.
A run ain't beating them.
I told you when they got Serge Ibaka, keep an eye on this team. Now, Kyle Lowry's healthy again. They took 2 games from the Cavs last year. That was a bit of a surprise. You could say Cleveland didn't care. That's fine.
Yes, I would say Cleveland did.
Toronto's going to give them a run.
So,
I
okay.
think Washington is very dangerous. It's a good matchup for Cleveland.
So
I'm sorry,
who's-
for Washington.
No, look, those teams are tough, and we can throw Boston in there.
And of
they
course,
don't match
Boston
up
has
as
a better
well
coach.
with Cleveland.
Now,
Yeah.
yes, I know Boston doesn't have a great superstar player, despite your love for Isaiah Thomas.
He didn't deliver this year.
They've got the best coach, one of the best
Why
coaches
you
in the
belittling
NBA.
Isaiah? What's it against
I
Isaiah
have
that you
no
got?
beef with Isaiah
I know
Thomas.
you only started watching basketball 10 years
Oh,
ago,
my
but because you dissing the legends of the 70s. Come on, man.
Listen, LeBron, but I'm going to go back to it. I don't think Cleveland's a lock to get to the
All right,
final.
so what percentage? Give me. I'm at 80% Cleveland. 80%
I go
chance of coming out of the East.
51% chance to come
Wow.
out of these. Chris, I cannot express this enough. 6 years in a row, LeBron's been to the finals. They are tired,
Okay.
especially LeBron
So,
James.
okay,
And remember,
so he's tired.
He's played more career playoff minutes than Jordan, Magic, Bird. This 6-year run, LeBron's had more playoff minutes than Barkley had in his whole career.
Okay, so
that's why he's resting a lot
back
this year.
to the question: if he's so tired, worn
Is he
down,
still the
so
best?
much
That's a
mileage on the
great
tread, is
question.
he still the best? I do agree with you that look right now. I'm saying LeBron James is the best player in the league.
That could change in June, though.
Well, if he gets the Cavs to the finals and performs like we expect him to, win or lose,
There's no
I
way he's
still
doing
would
what he
think
did
he's
last
the
year.
best player
Okay,
in the world.
let me tweak
My
it.
thing is if they get beat in the Eastern Conference playoffs, if they go out in the first, second, even third round, then I think it becomes a real question: is LeBron still the best player in the world? Because I think you agree with this. Cleveland has the best talent in the league, in the East.
Yes, undeniable.
Okay. So if you're the best player in the world, you've got the best talent in the conference, you should win the conference. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying it would be up for debate. And look, this is no slight on LeBron. He's in his 14th season. You mentioned the mileage. There is not another player in NBA history who has been the best player in the world in their 14th season.
And people,
so at some point, he's going to start to decline.
Michael Jordan, 3 straight finals, took a year and a half off. LeBron didn't get that year and a half off.
Yeah.
So just to go back, I do believe that he's still the best for now at this very moment, April, whatever day this is in April.
Yeah.
I think it could change come June. And I'm going to say this. If because you got the connections, you got Danny Ainge on the speed dial. If you talk to 30 GMs, who are you starting a team with today? I don't think it's overwhelmingly LeBron. I think Kawhi Leonard gets a lot of votes.
Obviously, we're taking age and all that into
Oh,
consideration.
certainly. I think Kawhi Leonard gets a lot of votes. He's the best two-way player in the league.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Karl Anthony
now,
Towns.
You're not saying he's the best player, obviously,
Correct.
in the league, but Kawhi would get
Kevin
a lot
Durant,
of votes.
who, by the way,
Kevin
had his
Durant would certainly get a lot
best
of
season ever as a shot blocker. Warriors led the league in blocks this year. They were second the last 3 years. They led the league thanks to Durant.
No, I'm with you, and I do agree. Let's see what happens in the postseason.
Let me add one more
This
stat
is when
before
you
we move
become
on.
the best player in the world.
Let me add one more.
In the postseason.
And a nod to Skip Bayless, your friend. I have not appeared on Undisputed yet. Hopefully in
Why
the future.
not? You bringing the heat.
Yeah,
I'm
aware of
bringing
this.
more heat, but
Yeah.
you bring.
I've got to
heat.
turn up my heat a notch. So here you go. Skip Bayless has pointed this out. LeBron's shooting 67% at the line, the worst of his career. Is that a sign of tiredness? When you're tired, you go to the free
You've
throw
never
line.
obviously been
free
a
throws
great
should
free
be
throw
easy.
shooter,
Now, I'm a great free throw shooter myself. So speaking from
in the
experience,
Culver City rec league. That you,
if I'm struggling
you
from the line,
dominate,
I
I
might
hear.
be a little gassed. I'm just saying.
No, it's-
I still
it's-
love LeBron. This is not a slight. I don't want your guy
but
Nick
why
Wright
is he
coming
playing
after me.
37 minutes?
That's a great question.
That's kind of goes to my point earlier about like all these games, like all this rest. If your science is telling you rest, guys, why are you playing
More
your
rebounds?
14th guys is in his 14th year in the league. Why is he playing 37
most
minutes?
career rebounds, most
Leading
career
the
assists.
league.
He's got the ball in his hands a lot.
Well,
Something's wrong.
that play, see, you wonder are the minutes so he can get those stats?
Why? What does he need stats for?
He doesn't, but is that part of his thing? I don't know. Because if you don't feel you could get those, I think he could in 34 minutes. Like why? I don't understand why LeBron James is playing 37
let me
minutes
toss a theory.
night.
It just hit me, just dawned upon me. The roof open here. Did he see what Steph Curry did last year?
Oh.
Won the MVP overwhelmingly and say, you know what? I need to diversify. I need to diversify my portfolio. Less scoring, more assists, more rebounds, a little more balance. I need to get in that MVP discussion
I think
because I'm LeBron James.
Well, I think he definitely wanted the MVP award. I do think he took back the face of the league
He did.
and
Oh, yeah.
best player in the world from Steph during the playoffs and mainly the finals.
in the final 3 games only. I mean,
yeah.
I can't
But he was
believe they
great
were
throughout the whole
Warriors had him
series.
3-1. If the Warriors win,
Greatest comeback in NBA history without
if the
question.
Warriors finish that, do they even get Durant? I don't
No,
think so.
I don't think Durant
so
goes
that
there.
just
He wouldn't go
changes
there.
that Klay Thompson game in Game 6 in
Yeah,
OKC.
against OKC.
Changes everything.
Yeah.
All right, move on.
Yeah.
Who's up next? Me?
You.
Okay. I love this question. What's the best situation for Lonzo Ball to go into? Best.
All right, best.
And it ain't Boston.
No. There's 2 situations I'd love to see him in. The Lakers. He's obviously the hometown
Certainly,
kid.
but- okay.
I think he's reminiscent somewhat of, in some ways, of Magic Johnson. He could learn at Magic's feet, and that would resurrect the Lakers franchise, I believe. Not right away, but eventually. But I think an even better situation, Minnesota.
Come Come on, get up out of here.
What?
Get out. You just, Broussard,
What?
get off your own podcast. Minnesota, you want Lonzo Ball to go to Minnesota.
Yes, to play with Andrew Wiggins
Ricky
and Carl
Rubio,
and
Zach LaVine, Carl Anthony Towns.
yes,
all
Carl
those guys
Anthony,
need the
all
ball.
they need.
Tom
exactly, and
Thibodeau,
Lonzo,
Tom Thibodeau, who drove Derrick Rose into the ground.
Lonzo doesn't need the
that would
ball.
be a disaster.
That's the
LeVar
point.
Ball will be popping off.
No, he would not with
I wanna go back.
Thibodeau.
Let me go back to the
Let me
Lakers.
finish.
Okay,
Let me
go.
tell you why Minnesota is the best. Because I can't believe you shot that. Do you watch basketball?
A little bit.
Look, Carl Anthony, they got mega talent on that team.
Yeah.
All they need is a player to bring it together. That is Ball's greatest strength.
He's a unifier,
He's not
right?
trying to get 20 shots a night. All right? I would trade Zach LaVine and Chris Dunn to move
Yeah,
up
they just
to try
drafted
to
Chris
get
Dunn. Good
fine.
point.
He's
He
not
didn't
going to be
have a great
Lonzo
season.
Ball.
I
He's
didn't-
all right. He's all right, but Lonzo Ball is special.
Oh,
and you
jeez.
put him
Hey,
next
can
to
we run
Andrew
that Kentucky
Wiggins.
tape, guys? When he was special, getting dusted,
He didn't
eaten
have-
alive
he didn't-
by
you-
De'Aaron
see, you
Fox.
don't- you
He
don't-
didn't
you don't have
oh
the
yeah,
eye.
I forgot. TJ Leaf is nothing special. He's
Is
he's a first round draft pick. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's going to be Tyler Zeller. All right? You like that? You
No,
like
I think he's
that?
got a bigger upside.
Really? Really? Cody then? Cody Zeller? Maybe that?
Right.
All right, look.
Okay,
look.
finish Minnesota. I got a good comeback for your Lakers.
He is a unifier. He makes everybody better. He's a longer version of Jason Kidd, but he shoots much better. The difference between him and Rubio, get Rubio. Rubio can go.
Oh, yeah,
Rubio's
he's
a
having a
great,
good season, by the way.
great passer.
Good season.
Great passer, but he's not a threat. You don't even have to guard him. Even when he penetrates, he's not trying to finish.
Self-check,
looking to
kind of like
pass.
you with your jumper.
So,
Kind of. Okay.
yeah, yo, you better ask somebody. Ask your former teammates. They upgraded when they got me
stop
for
it.
you.
I couldn't play
All
this
right.
season.
Yeah, likely. So you gotta rest. You gotta rest.
Yeah, you too.
I'm like
Cares
old
about
enough to be your dad.
Oh,
even though it don't look
All
like
right,
it.
finish
Even though it don't
Minnesota,
look like you could be my dad. But in fact, I'm older. Now listen, here we go.
Boy.
Getting back to some
These worked into a lather
You
today.
came in the zone, man. You came in the zone.
We need a
popping
sound
off.
effect
I
for
had
that
to
one.
let you know what time it is. All right, here we go. Lonzo Ball. He would bring Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins together, and that would be a big three that would be great. I'm not going to say for the ages. It'd be a great big three, and that's why I love him in Minnesota.
Let me go back
Rubio can't shoot. That's why he's not a threat. Lonzo, can shoot.
They took
now, he's
Dunn's.
not mid-range.
I think Dunn was
but he can
6th
shoot.
overall, 7th, something like that. Anyway, let me go back to Lakers, why it could be a problem. You know the stories of how, like, you graduate high school, you got to get out of town because you got all your boys. I don't think it's a good idea to be too close to LeVar. Then he's courtside at every
LeVar's
game.
probably going to go wherever he's at. Well, no, you with
Yeah,
the
but
other
that's what I'm
two,
saying.
with the
If he's
other
with the
sons, he
Lakers,
might stay in L.A.
He's going to
even.
be outside the locker room. The media's going to be all over him. I think it could be dicey, not to mention Brandon Ingram's young, D'Angelo Russell, Jordan Clarkson. They got a lot of young guys who need the ball.
That's what I'm saying. He brings that together.
I don't know.
They
Here's
need
mine.
somebody
Let
to bring
me
them
hit
together. Who
you
you
with
got?
this.
If it's not Boston, not L.A., not Minnesota, who in the world?
He's ready for this one. A team that has one
Phoenix.
playoff series win in the last 16 years. A team that plays on the other side of the country from LeVar Ball. A team with no backcourt to speak of. My New York Knicks. Lonzo Ball, run the show from day
triangle?
one. Forget the triangle.
No,
Phil's
that's
getting
what
dusted.
Phil wants to
Phil's
run.
gone. He's out of here in the next 2 months. Watch.
Oh, you
so
think?
Lonzo Ball will get the ball in his hands from day one. His show. Him and Porzingis,
You
Melo.
want him
I
in
don't
New
know.
York City, young cat,
I think on
away
the
from
other
home
side
for
of
the first
country,
time?
I think it's a great spot where his show. There
New
is
York
no-
hasn't been a great spot for anybody since Patrick Ewing.
Exactly. They've been so bad. If he can get them to like 500 the first year, that's a huge win for him. This is a downtrodden franchise. They're desperate for a star. They're over Melo. They're over Phil. They like Porzingis. But Lonzo, point guard, I think there's a huge upside for Lonzo Ball in New York City.
I don't hate it. I mean,
Ooh,
hold on.
that's a win.
That wouldn't be no.
Three
that
for
ain't no
Jason.
win. I
He's
crushed.
got two.
I crushed. That ain't no win. But no, look, I don't hate it. But New York, man, New York young players is scary. It's just a whole lot that
I
comes
know you
with
follow
that.
him on Instagram. He's got his longtime girlfriend. He's good. So
He's a
I
good
don't-
kid. I like him,
I
but
don't know if he's gonna be up in
it's
1-0,
been a lot of good kids
popping bottles.
coming into the league. I just and the other thing, and you seem certain about it. I'm not so certain about it. If Phil insists on running the triangle, I mean, come on.
I don't think Phil Jackson's going to be there.
But
I
right
think-
now he is, and he hasn't shown any. You think they're gonna fire him?
I do believe so, yeah.
If they get rid of
Do you
Phil
know how bad
and they
the
can run a
optics
regular,
for
no,
the
it's
league were
bad.
with Phil Jackson?
It's bad.
What free agents are coming to sit down with New York this offseason?
Well, money talks. Money
really?
talks.
They couldn't get Greg Monroe. He went to Milwaukee instead of the New York Knicks.
I'm not
they
saying-
couldn't get meetings with these guys. They need to get him out of there. He had to settle for Joakim Noah, who, oh my gosh, I can't believe I liked that at the time, and Derrick Rose, they're both broken and they're done. Phil whiffed. He took a chance. He swung for the fences. He struck out. And Dolan, I think, just the Carmelo stuff, the LeBron taking shots at him. The optics for the Knicks are bad. I'm going to give you a name who's going to replace him.
Who?
We're going on record here on In the Zone podcast. Isaiah Thomas will be back in New York as the next GM of the New York Knicks.
That wouldn't, I mean, obviously Isaiah's
He's your boy.
great,
Call him up.
great with Dolan.
He
He's
ain't gonna
still with
deny
the
it.
Liberty and all that stuff. You know, that wouldn't shock everybody. But Lonzo, I mean, it's not the best fit. It's not a terrible fit.
It's better than Minnesota.
Him and Porzingis would be great together.
We already saw a UCLA guy go to Minnesota.
Your boy Willie Hernan Gomez. But why not Minnesota?
We already saw a UCLA guy go to Minnesota, and they didn't win jack squat.
Shabazz Muhammad?
Kevin Love. No, Kevin Love.
He ain't Lonzo Ball. Kevin Love is not Lonzo Ball.
There was a time when Kevin Love was a top 10 player in the NBA.
According
We're
to who?
anointing
The analytics
Lonzo.
guys,
We're
that's it. He never
anointing.
won. The eye test told me he's not top 10.
What eye test? Lonzo Ball
My
against
eye
Kentucky
test.
where he
Lonzo
got
Ball
roasted.
is the truth,
He
dude.
got lit up.
Lonzo Ball
Hey, listen,
is the TRUTH.
De'Aaron Fox blasted him back into...
In a one-on-one game, he got it.
No, it
De'Aaron
was
Fox is
5-on-5.
quicker. De'Aaron Fox is quicker. Ball is not a takeover scorer. That's not what he does. And he didn't have the supporting cast that De'Aaron Fox had. You had
They
to worry
won
about
30
Malik.
games. What are we
Because
supporting?
he lifted guys that were mediocre.
Lift him up against
But
Kentucky. What do you have,
Kentucky
2
had
buckets in the
better
second
players.
half?
They got Malik Monk. They got Bam Adebayo.
I don't
They
know if I
got
can
De'Aaron
trust your
Fox.
Lonzo Ball takes because you're so tight with LeVar.
No,
I know you guys are boys.
Yo,
You're
they are in the zone favorites. There's
Yes,
no doubt
they
about
are.
it. Friends
I
in
know.
the zone.
Yeah, I saw
but
the-
no, I love
I saw you
Lonzo Ball's
This is
game.
breaking news. Chris Broussard came into the office today wearing a 3B
No, please.
LeVar Ball t-shirt.
Lying.
He is on the tape.
On that
And
note,
it's official.
you have resorted to telling fibs. That means I got the best of you. We're out of the zone. Peace.
Game blouses.
That's it for this week's show. Please remember to subscribe to us on iTunes and SoundCloud. Give us 5 stars and leave a nice comment. Make sure you also catch me live on my nationally syndicated radio show along with my co-host Brian Noe on Fox Sports Radio every Saturday, 8 to 11 p.m. Eastern. We'll be reacting to live games and covering all of the major stories in sports. See you next week. Peace.
I'm in my zone.